Hello, guys. What's up, everybody? We've got a
What's
little
up?
announcement for you, and it's called a little thing called the Pavilion. Let's
Well, we've
start it.
announced it ages ago. We're
Let's
just
start-
You
reminding
just heard
them.
about this.
Let's start it again.
We were hoping
Aye,
you'd be
let's
there.
start. Right.
Hello, everybody. How are you today?
Why can he never? He can't do this. He's terrible.
I know.
Here we go. Hi, guys. We've got a great announcement for you.
It's not an announcement.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Guess what?
You're such a freak. I'll do
Used
it.
it.
Right.
I'll fuck it. Before we jump into today's episode, we just wanted to quickly remind you that tickets are on sale for the Pavilion Theatre that we are
Wow.
doing on the 31st
Big
of March.
announcement.
In case you missed it.
Yeah. ICYMI. Yeah, tickets are available for the only live show we're doing next year, the Pavilion. We're all very excited about it. It's a big room. It's going to be fantastic. Thanks to everyone that has bought tickets. They're flying out the doors. So
Yeah.
please don't dilly-dally.
Can't wait.
Get some exciting plans for it, exciting guests booked, and it'll be a good fun. And as ever, you can also sign up to our Patreon for as little as £3 a month. You get access to an extra episode every 2 weeks, as well as bonus content from all the previous live shows we've done, 2 of which were in Glasgow, 2 at the Edinburgh Festival, and 1 in London as well, which is actually in 2 parts, so technically it's 6 there. But they're all really fun. If you've maybe not been to a live show before and you want to sign up and see what it's like before you buy a ticket, you know, for just that £3, you can get access to the Patreon, check them out, and then when you see how much fun they are, I'm sure we'll see you at the Pavilion. But
Yes, and you can even pick your own seats at the Pavilion if you go on the website.
at the Pavilion
That's fun.
website, the Glasgow Comedy Festival website, they will make you, they'll just get you
They
some.
just give you it. But if
So-
you go on the Pavilion website, you can say, I want one
no
in row
extra
Z
charge.
and one in row H.
Yeah, scatter amongst.
Scatter
make
your
it hard.
pals.
Make sure you're not sitting next to that person that you don't like.
Exactly.
Yes.
But yeah, snap the mark. Christmas coming, guys. Stocking filler. Some Laugh Live at the Pavilion. Hopefully see you there. And aside for that, enjoy today's episode.
Enjoy
Yeah.
the app.
Got to include Steve's bloopers.
Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No,
It's
there's going to be some.
some laugh. Just been to the physio. My back is absolutely fucked.
Oh, really?
You all
What
right?
have you done?
I
You've
just,
always got sore backs.
it's just been a bit thingy for a while, and then I've bit just now and again I went to the gym and just done it in on Saturday. And
I went to the physio yesterday.
did you?
Yeah, they stuck some needles in me.
You get
Acupuncture.
acupuncture?
Yeah, well, they called it dry needling,
Dry needling.
which I think is Western for
Right.
acupuncture.
Is that right?
Is it not quite? Is it widely accepted now,
I
or
hope
is it
so.
a bit like?
Chiropractor is a dodgy one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's like bullshit, apparently.
But
So what do they do?
They crack your
Crack
back.
your back and
So,
stuff.
but there's no, I don't think,
yeah, I think you can just say you're a chiropractor.
yeah, it's a bit of a sort of, what would you call that?
Alternative medicine.
Yes, a pseudoscience sort of snake oil salesman. A lot of
Yeah.
people think that the chiropractors are.
I think that. I mean, if you crack someone's back, I think that's
Yeah, it does.
feels good.
But
You've done
Colt
something.
Cabana cracked my back once.
the
The
wrestler.
wrestler, yeah. We were both doing comedy club for kids, and I had a really sore back, and he was like, I'll crack it. So I had to lie on the floor, and he had to sort of twist my whole torso, and there was a point where I was like, I could die like this.
Yeah,
That's not the worst way to die.
There's worse ways to go than a wrestler fucking suplexing you in an early grave.
a children's comedy game.
This is before we went on. This wasn't in front of the children. They weren't
I was
watching,
picturing it in
like,
the middle of the stage.
crying. And
That's the kind of stuff that has been a long time coming. Being out of order backstage on the circuit. You know what I mean? You can't be cracking people's backs anymore. Cool. All right, you can called out here. Thank you for joining us, Eleanor.
thanks
Cheers.
for having me. Thanks,
We just
guys.
move. Yeah.
Did the
Yeah.
acupuncture work? Was it?
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's meant to have worked. He only did one side, so that next time we'll see if it's worked.
Really?
All right. It's not like
Yeah.
a cliffhanger. Like, so.
I guess I'm like a hunchback now. I sort of go around like lopsided, and also in my jaw. Do you guys get that bruxism, clenched jaw?
Yeah. I get it.
Oh, you do you know?
I've
Yeah.
got TMJ,
Yeah.
which is slightly different, but it's just sore.
I grind my teeth.
Yeah.
Is that similar?
There is. Yeah, I assume you guys would have it because it's like all the things
Anxious.
comedians have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I dream about my teeth falling out a lot and
Oh yeah, that's
waking
a
up
common one.
and I'm doing that.
I
Do you
dream
really?
about my teeth crumbling.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's there's
It
I
means
don't know
you're
if it-
fried in the nut, doesn't it? I googled it. It's something like that.
Aye, there is a sort of. Is that not like a common dream for folk to have?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's one of the
happen?
hack dreams.
That's-
Have you ever had any recurring dreams? Like in childhood? I had this recurring nightmare that a black train was pulling in
Whoa.
at Queen Street and then Beatles spelt out death.
Oh my, what the band?
Yeah, John Paul and Ringo, they were down there.
It's like,
Help.
And you had that more than once.
Yeah, this happened all the time.
That's really dark.
It
so,
really-
so a train was coming into.
I just remember this train.
How old are you at this point, by the way?
7.
Oh
Right.
my god.
I love little weirdo anxious horror Steve.
Oh,
Yeah.
Steve.
I don't know I don't know why. Black train with like a sort of the front of it was jagged.
So one of those jaggy trains.
You know, jaggy trains.
I know what you're talking about. Aye, so they've got like it's
Like
almost
Concorde.
like a
Like
sort
a
of.
snowpiercer.
Like yeah, almost like a snowplow
yeah.
Aye.
for a train. It was quite gothic looking.
Uh-huh.
And Beatles, little creepy crawlies.
So when would they come into play from the train?
I remember just the dread of the train coming in and looking down on the platform, and then all these Beatles came into
So
show.
they weren't disembarking.
They didn't get off the train
No.
though.
No, they were. If anything, it sounds like they were trying to get on it.
Maybe, yeah. But it's such a
And
To
they
have
spelled
more than
death.
once is
spell of death
Yeah, it's funny.
when you're 7.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
anything-
could spell
I think
death
that's
when I
great.
was 7.
happening. Is that a dark question?
Huh?
So, had anyone passed away? Were
No,
you scared
'cause-
of death? Or?
No, because I don't
should
think I had like a proper death in my family until I was like 15 or something.
What a dream.
Yeah, so lucky. But
And
that's-
now you just fantasize, but you dream about your teeth crumbling.
I get that one.
yeah, that's
Do you?
anxiety.
We all get that.
Is it?
You don't
Yeah.
get that?
No.
You should be worried that you're not getting that.
What do you get?
Well, I don't think I have anxiety. That's the thing.
Ah,
What a piece of shit.
I
I
know.
haven't met anyone without anxiety for ages. What's it like?
It's great.
You're like
man. it's chill.
You're like the town weirdo now, the only guy that's not
I
getting
feel like
that.
that in comedy clubs sometimes. I'm
Mentally
like,
well comedian.
That's something you guys have kind of got in common. You both love horror stuff. Like you
Yeah.
like your spooks.
I
You're a
like
horror
spooky.
fan?
Yeah, well, I like spooky more than horror, but yeah.
Oh, cool. What sort of thing?
Oh, like ghost stuff, spooky ghosts.
You've been
Spooky
talking a
ghosts.
lot about ghosts in your
Yeah,
your
my new
show.
show's going to be about ghosts.
That's cool.
It's sort of about being from a very spooky place and not having seen a ghost. I went to see Uncanny Live on Sunday. It's the podcast where the guy asks people for their stories and they say they've seen a ghost, and then a scientist says no, you haven't, and then and then a goth says maybe you have. It's a lot of fun.
Like, fuck off, Brian Cox. Right, I would get it, right?
But yeah, I don't know if I'm a bit too scared. I've seen I like horror films, but I couldn't say like a. What's your favourite, Steve? What's your big one?
We were talking about this yesterday,
Patreon,
2
aye.
days ago. I think probably something classic like The Shining.
Oh
say.
yeah.
But then there's modern ones that I really like. Get Out, It Follows. I was talking about Candyman the other day as well.
Or the new one, or the
I like both.
oh.
So I can see people just immediately write off the remakes. I'll give them a
You
chance.
think that's narrow-minded, don't you?
Yeah, and they were good.
Will you be queuing up for this new Wonka movie?
It does look a bit scary.
Does look creepy.
Wonka's scary.
Yeah, the Gene Wilder one, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the Johnny Depp one.
The Johnny Depp one, I didn't give the time of day, actually. I just said that I give the time of day to remakes. I didn't. I just looked at that and thought, that looks shit.
Well, because Roald Dahl's stories in general sometimes would have kind of like sort of kind of scary endings,
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah. His
Yeah.
his adult stories were all very like, they were called like Tales of the Weird or something, and they would always have horrible twists.
Was it him that Lamb to the Slaughter?
Yes,
Is that rolled down?
That's Roald Dahl.
That was
they-
a good.
Batters him with the leg of lamb and then feeds
Cooks
it to the
feeds it to the police officers.
That's
the
class.
perfect
That
thing.
captured my imagination. When I was a kid. That's when I started having all those weird dreams. I think.
One of my most on-brand stories from childhood was we had a Roald Dahl week at school, and I'd read all the books that I wanted to from childhood, so I found one on my dad's shelf of his grown-up stories. It was called Switch Bitch, and it had some ladies' bosoms on the front. And I got told off for reading that in class. I think I was like 9, and I was really upset because I hadn't quite finished the story about a girl who she's got leprosy, and she manages to get this guy to sleep with her. Oh, it was...
I didn't realise Roald Dahl had done erotic fiction.
really dark stuff. Yeah,
Really
yeah,
horny, Roald Dahl.
50 Shades of Grey of its time.
But with Oompa Loompas.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a ghost?
No,
Yeah,
this is the thing. I've never seen one. I don't know if I believe in them, but I'm fascinated by them, and I like true ghost stories. All the ones based on real things is really fascinating because I always believe. See, when people say they've seen a ghost, I always believe that they believe they've seen a ghost.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I always think it's a good story, and I think I'm very in the middle because my dad is a very practical scientist, and my mum is
a ghost.
That's a movie.
It never makes it work, but they made it work. It's really nice. I was going to say she's a Catholic, which
Same thing. What's your this?
and they love spooky shit. So
The Holy Ghost.
yeah,
She's Catholic.
yeah, it
Sure.
all makes sense. Have any of you seen a ghost?
I don't know. I didn't used to be a believer until I moved into this. I live in like a sort of insane asylum now.
Oh, okay.
I think you need to explain a bit more than that.
It's not really. It's new flats, but it's built on the grounds of where this old mental hospital
Where's
was.
that? Are you
I'm not going to dox myself.
That's fair.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
In the outskirts of Glasgow,
Okay.
and since
Still
I
scared
moved-
enough that actually insane people are going to come and read
ever
the like a
since-
lamb routine.
Oh, that. I mean, yeah, that would be somewhere to go. I
But
would.
do you think you're scared, or you've got a feeling because you know what happened there?
Yeah, probably. I've felt some creepy goings-ons.
Ooh. That's vague.
Such as what?
Well,
Did you blame the ghost for nearly setting fire to your house that time?
so like Catherine was like having a conversation with me.
Uh-huh.
She thought, and then turned around and I wasn't even in the house.
That's creepy.
She thought I came in the door and she was talking, and then no one was there.
That's creepy.
That's pretty creepy. I just hid in the
Diggy in your partner.
No, like that was truth. And then I hear footsteps. Could be someone above.
Yeah.
We live in a flat, so
Yeah,
walls.
they do.
they're walls. Yeah.
I once, the only time I remember, and this is, I guess a lot of them, I bet you, are similar to this, where it's like somebody's like half awake, half asleep.
Yeah, there's a lot of them where it's just sleep paralysis. Do you ever get that?
No.
Oh
I
yeah.
Do you know what that
had
is?
that,
Yeah.
I've
Do you
had
know what
that.
it is?
Aye, but you can't move when you
Yeah,
wake
I've never
up.
had it. It sounds really horrible.
Yeah.
But I think, like, yeah,
There's-
80% of stuff is that.
There's a certain demon, is it the old lady?
Old hag, yeah.
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 The old hag who sits on you.
If you
Sounds
I've
like a good
had
night to me.
Like sleep paralysis, and she's in the corner of the room and then she comes over.
Yeah, a lot of people see like a kind of witchy figure.
I've had something like on top of
Yeah.
me like that, but I wouldn't say it was an old hag,
Is it a young hag?
so to speak. Yeah. It was quite fit actually.
Fat hag.
No, I wouldn't have said it was even. I wouldn't gender this demon
That's very fair.
that I had,
Yeah.
and that's not me trying to be woke. That's just I don't know what the fuck it was.
I get sometimes I think spiders are coming from the
Oh.
ceiling and I
I
can't move.
Do you?
And then I shake it off and there's like Taylor Swift and then no one's there. It's a song.
What,
Oh,
about, what if the Beatles came back and they spelled out something else like, "Hi, Steve"?
Like the film yesterday.
I would like if they give me nice messages. That would be pretty sweet of the Beatles. The Beatles haven't been there for a while though, so I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Well, the one that I seen, I was I was in my bed and I kind of woke up, and what I recall seeing was like, it was as if there was like a light switched on in my room, and I feel like I seen like a hand go and switch on it. I said to my mum, "Was that you?"
that's creepy.
And she was like, "No."
That's creepy.
I was like, "What the
creepy,
fuck?" But I know that way. I'm like, I wonder if I've sort of retconned that in my mind
Yeah.
by like maybe somebody, or maybe it just switched on or something,
Yeah.
and I've like put it in my mind that I seen it getting switched on or
When
something.
was this? When you were a kid?
I was probably it's probably like a teenager.
Okay, yeah.
Early teenager. So
I think it was a demon.
could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No
was speaking to Darren Connell about this the other
Oh.
night, and he says he believes he's a big believer.
I can definitely
Love it,
believe
yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
They
You're
done
taking
a-
off ayahuasca and you'll believe it.
When you do as many steps as he does, you start to get delirious.
What was he saying?
He done a Ouija board, and
don't do that.
yeah,
Don't
put
do
it on
that.
a glass chess set, and
Is this
it,
just him in the house doing this?
no, with a party with his
Right.
pals.
He should do that as like a night at the stand, like
He
Dan
should.
Connell's Ouija
I'd go.
board.
Yeah.
I would definitely go to
Yeah.
it. And it just the glass chessboard shattered.
Serves him right for having a glass chessboard.
Yeah, it was maybe too heavy
Very
for it or
practical,
something.
yeah.
Have you ever done a Ouija board or anything like that?
I think me and my sister did one when we were 9, but not properly. And I
Yeah.
think my mum told us off and nothing happened. So
Am I right in thinking there was a film like called Ouija board, or they done Ouija board in
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
it's just called
Ouija.
Ouija.
aye, because I
Ouija
remember
Inca,
that because
That's a sketch. Write that
This
down.
is a sketch.
I remember
True.
that coming out, and then that was the first time I think I'd heard of a Ouija board and been dead scared to do it. But I would like to do it now that I don't believe in any of that shit anymore.
Nothing would happen because you wouldn't be subconsciously moving it.
You need to believe.
Is that what it is?
Do you know what's interesting? Though, talking about like things like you knowing about the insane asylum, and that's how you like if you didn't know that that's where that was built on the grounds of.
It'd be fine, wouldn't it?
Because when I was younger, I talked about this in my show this year, but my mum and my auntie went to see a Tina Turner concert in Edinburgh,
Yeah.
and they stayed in that hotel called the White Lady in Corstorphine.
Yeah, that's near where I grew up.
Aye, which is where
And I am
the-
a white lady, so
There you go. But that was like based. I think a woman was murdered or something, and the story is she haunts the grounds.
yes.
But they were like partying it up and stuff and didn't know anything about it, and they just had a pure laugh in the hotel room. It was the next day, and then they get told, and they were like, if they knew that, they would have been fucking shitting themselves.
Yeah.
And then I always remember my auntie brought back, like, they must have sold them in a gift shop or something. They had like a wee card, and it had like, they'd obviously like photoshopped like this, like sort of see-through, like a ghost woman in the grounds of it, and it freaked me out like
Oh
fuck.
yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes
creepy.
though, like, when you're a child, the things that scare you are not the things that would scare an adult. Like, but I don't even mean like stuff that's scary. I mean, just trying to think of any examples, like things you see on like in a TV show as a child. That
I remember I had to run out of the singing kettle. Pirates.
Pirate Show.
ran
We were
out of that
talking
one.
about
Yeah.
this.
It was too much. For
Did
me.
you guys see the Pirate Show?
I never went to the singing
I went to
kettle.
the
Must have
singing
been
More of
kettle.
an East Coast thing, I
yeah.
I went to the singing kettle, but I don't remember the pirates. What's
The Pirate Show was just their big live show, and I think every child on the East Coast went to it, and you really wanted to be chosen to go on stage.
were you chosen?
I wasn't chosen, and I wasn't
Thank
scared.
God I wasn't chosen.
What were you scared of?
I can't remember now. I mean, it was a long time ago. This is my past. But I remember my granddad having to take me home
Oh,
because I was a little pussy. All these things happen.
did you guys even? You got the singing kettle,
Aye.
right? Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
I remember it being a thing. It's just that I just never went to it personally.
That's
Big
okay.
deal in my childhood. Yeah.
Find
Yeah.
out the videos.
First ever concert for me.
Really?
I think it's Stuart Mitchell's wife that in the singing kettle. Have I made that up?
Yeah,
It's renamed.
She was.
Oh, is it?
Bring it back to spooky stuff. Do you know how they met?
Aye.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. We need to get him on to tell it, I suppose.
I know. Aye.
Oh yeah. Well,
Well, basically, he was they were filming a thing, and he was Bible John killing her.
And
or
she
something.
was the victim.
that's just quite sweet.
Together
It's a meet
episode.
cute.
Yeah.
That's so dark.
That's another good movie.
Not to kink shame, but, but yeah, that is a strange meeting.
It's. Do you know who else who's used to go ghost hunting? Gareth Waugh.
Waugh.
Yeah.
We
We've
spoke.
spoke to him about that on this.
Yeah.
That is.
It's
I like
so
the
funny.
image of him as like, yeah, we
Ghost
ghost
hunter.
dirty teenager with his
I'd watch
mum
that
and
if
his
that was
mates.
a sitcom.
Yeah.
You
100%.
maybe you should do that together.
We had
He's got the experience, and you get the...
we had a very brief double act about a decade ago.
Did you?
Really?
We did, yeah. Kevin, what's he called? Kevin Joe Caulfield's husband.
Sutherland? Is it Kevin Sutherland?
Yeah, is it?
I don't
Anyway,
Yeah.
he thought we would be a good double act, and we weren't.
He was wrong.
But we looked like we would be.
What was your name?
God, did we even have a name? I don't know. We did one song, and it was a song I'd already written.
All right.
and we just added. It was just me doing my material, and then
And
Gareth
Gareth,
leaning over
he's
my
also there.
shoulder and being like, "I'm here too."
It's a
They
good
didn't
double
love
too.
that, yeah.
So you so that was before you'd moved, because you were saying me earlier on, so you started out obviously in the circuit
Yep.
here for about 4 years.
Yeah, I was
And then-
18.
Wow.
And I started out in Edinburgh and then was at Glasgow Uni, did the stand and stuff,
Aye.
and then I went to London, and I moved back from London last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been away,
Back.
but I'm back.
Did you like London?
It's fine.
Expensive.
Well, here's probably what maybe listeners will be asking Eleanor as a
Oh,
question
no.
in their mind.
It's very,
How do
very-
you speak like that when you
Such a boring answer as well. Everyone wants to know, and
you
I'm
grew up
like,
in Edinburgh?
yeah.
Because we should say that people usually when they've got their accent on here, they are English, and they always tell us that they've got
A
some
Scottish grandparent.
Scottish grandparent or whatever. But
Oh, that's
Eleanor
funny.
actually is Scottish.
I am, I swear. I've got a birth certificate and everything. No, it's a really boring story. I wasn't even I didn't even get to go to private school or anything like. I didn't even get to benefit from it.
No.
My mum is English, and I sound like her, and I don't know why. I think it's because there's so many English people in Edinburgh. Like all my friends had like an English parent and a Scottish parent, and I think we all just talk to each other a lot, and then you just end up like this. Also, all the people I know whose dads were Scottish and mums were English, their dads never said anything. So that's why.
It makes a lot of fucking sense.
Just very, very quiet dads and very chatty mums.
Yeah.
But my mum's family are from Scotland, so that's why it's extra annoying because I don't really have any connection to England. But I do. But I got this.
You got that.
Yeah. So not an interesting story.
Do you ever like do you like see when you were in London and stuff
Yeah.
like that? Did you ever wish that you had it so that you stood out?
Yeah. No, because when people knew I was Scottish, they'd make fun of me for being Scottish anyway.
Aye.
Which was sort of the worst of both worlds. So the all my English friends would do lots of Scottish jokes, and then but I did get excited when I met anyone from Scotland, and then they wouldn't know why.
We've got to have this conversation.
Yeah,
I was on a train in South London last week and just sitting, and there's a table of like two couples next to me, just loudly having a conversation about how they hate Scottish accents.
oh my
and I'm just
god.
sitting there like,
I would have said something because I would have confused them.
well, I was speaking to the person next to me, and I was really starting to raise my voice the more they were.
Just get really thick.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's it. We walk amongst them,
Yeah,
and they
I
don't
know.
even know it.
Was it a train to Scotland?
No, it was a train to central London
Okay, that's fair.
From Scotland?
from South London.
Alright.
I mean, I'm behind enemy lines.
Yeah.
You just don't expect to hear it, do you?
No,
Yeah, it's pretty brazen on a train. Out in the pub.
I'm
they don't
always-
expect us to be there. That's it. And then
Yeah.
we're like, oh.
I'm always ready, listening and waiting for.
Yeah, and when I was in New York, there was a group of Americans behind us slagging the Scottish accent, and I don't know if they knew that we were Scottish, but it was bizarre because it's like, what have
What's it
we
to
ever
you?
done to America? You know, fair enough, England, but Americans are like, oh yeah, because they were talking about like they were one of the girls was having a wedding, and she was like, oh, you're not inviting him, are you? Oh, Scottish, and I'm doing the accent and shit. It's like, I hate that guy.
Snobber. I can't wait till that's like total, like could get you, to jail.
We're going to start pretending that's like a big cause.
It's in your new nation where people get arrested.
Yeah, when I become First Minister of an independent Scotland, that will be a
I have friends-
jailable offence.
I have friends who do sound like they're from Edinburgh, and they get maybe you get Stu, like the East Coast accent. People sometimes think it's like Canadian or
Yeah, I get like Northern English sometimes. People
Yeah.
think,
Really?
sometimes. I mean, I don't know what they're fucking hearing.
yeah. I mean,
What, other Scottish people?
Yeah, so it tends to just be Glaswegians, to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah, if you don't sound Glaswegian, then you're English.
But at least if you
That
sound
is-
English, like, oh, they're English. But sometimes it's like, what are you?
Aye.
People don't trust you as well if you don't have the accent that matches where you're from. They're like, you're lying about what else are you lying about?
Yeah.
They immediately and then like we need you to give a really thorough explanation, and then they still don't quite trust you.
Yeah.
It's like Gabe Gabe, did you not ask?
Yeah, I was like, where the fuck are you, Faye?
Hill?
Gabriel Featherstone, and he's like, Glasgow. And I'm like what?
See, the thing is, it's so ingrained that I'm like, I wouldn't trust him either. It's like,
No. He also
be
wears
fair,
a
he wore
top
a top
hat
hat for many
sometimes,
years.
so that's, the plot
He's an
thickens, is
eccentric.
all I'm saying. He is an eccentric.
Great guy.
Shout out to Gabe.
But sometimes sometimes when people comment on like the Craig videos, I feel like they think the accent is meant to be the funny bit, and
right.
like Americans and they'll be like, haha, I don't even know what he's saying, and I'm like, that's not the joke. I wrote loads of jokes
Yeah.
that you're meant to understand.
Yeah, I hate when that's like people try and give you that as a compliment, but I've been gigging in England and there's been comedians that's been like, oh, I don't even listen to what you're saying, it's just the accent's so funny, and I'm like,
Could you listen?
that please listen.
Wouldn't bother
That'd be
writing any
great.
jokes if
I know it is not like they're not taking the piss out of you, or
No.
they're not trying to be monsters, but it's like that's quite
it is
bang
rude.
out.
Yeah,
I'm more than my accent.
Exactly.
It is,
Yeah.
more than my sexy accent.
You were mentioning your videos, Eleanor. You've obviously had a lot of viral hits in the last. Well, did you start doing them during lockdown and stuff?
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys got the kind of nothing matters anymore confidence.
Yeah.
Because I tried to do online stuff before, and I think I was just second guessing what people wanted. And then lockdown came, and there was nothing to do, and there was no pressure or anything. So I was like, I'll just do what I want. And more people liked that than when I was trying to do stuff people liked. So that's the lesson.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a good one.
Nah, I feel like that as well. It was like for years I wanted to put out stuff and it was just the sort of embarrassment, but then
I have friends
Lockdown.
as well who know you as like the W.H. Smith guy.
That's what it is in my phone.
yeah,
I don't know how you feel about that, but
that's fine.
they enjoy that video.
Do people know you as the Craig girl?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
People will ask about him like he's a real person, and
Really?
sometimes I'm like, I'm real. Ask about me.
Because the other ones I've seen like done really well, obviously, is the tour guide stuff.
Yeah, Craig. Yeah.
Is that Craig? I
That's
didn't know he
Craig.
had a
Or
name.
Greg, as sometimes Americans call him.
They
call
can
him
never
Greg.
say Craig.
That
It's
does
always
one down.
Craig.
Yeah.
What's that all
Where's
about?
that come from?
I think they just say stuff wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Craig.
Edinburgh.
Craig Ferguson.
Aye.
Craig.
Paul Craig. He's a UFC fan. But what used to call him? And you go, Paul Craig.
Craig.
What's that all about?
Craig Ferguson.
Because there was a Craig in South Park as well. It's the first time I ever heard it. And I'm like, what is
I think
this
if you're
name?
American and your name's Craig, you can say Craig. But if it's if it's Craig Ferguson, say it the way he says it, surely.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.
It's got an I in it. Use it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
there for a reason.
Can't be that hard to say in an American accent, can it?
Putting everyone on blast this
Craig.
week.
But so that was it. So like, because you've done loads, like a series of them now.
Yeah, I've done so many.
Have you done that live?
Yeah, I did. I did it. I've done him twice live. Last year I did a full hour of Craig, which was a lot. And then this year I just did him as part of a compilation of other characters. But he's actually, I sort of forget this when I'm doing videos. It's quite exhausting keeping up that level of monotony.
Unenthusiasm.
Yeah, basically. People were like, is it not really relaxing? But I'm like, no, it's like the grind of it is because he's so low energy and you're just scared people are going to lose or fall asleep. but yeah, it was fun, but it's a lot of big script because he's very wordy.
So what would like a live show, an hour of that look like?
So last year I framed it as if Craig was performing, presenting the Scottish Tour Guide Award. And it was...
Which you probably have done in real life.
Oh, yeah.
No.
And we're delighted to have the W.H. Smith guy with us this evening.
And then he just did a sort of like guided tour of Edinburgh. So it was very like location specific, which is why I would happily do like Craig live in other places, but I'd have to write a full hour for each location.
God,
Yeah.
that's the labour intensive.
So, because I actually did him on a show last week that was recorded in Glasgow at the Ormore, that had Craig in it, and I just did a bit in Edinburgh because I'm like, I can't write 15 new minutes
Yeah.
centered specifically around Ormore because it's just a lot of energy.
Big undertaking.
Has anyone ever asked you to go and do a real,
Yes.
be a real tour guide?
Yeah, more than
place?
once.
Really?
And I'm like, I don't know if you know how this works. Like,
Yeah.
it's very sweet. Like, I'm not, I'm very flattered, but I do not think in real life that would, aside from that just being a huge amount of time and energy for me, that would not be that fun in real life.
It would just literally be an unenthusiastic
Yeah,
tour
exactly.
guide.
It's like, they exist, and you can find one.
What made you do that character at first? Was it based on a real experience or?
I think it's based on, so growing up we used to do a lot of like historic Scotland castles on the weekend.
Right.
Just go and stand in the rain in a ruin somewhere and like be educated. And so it's sort of based on that, and obviously I'm like really into history. And then it's also based on, I think I'm really fascinated by the way Scotland is romanticised, especially by America and places like that, versus what Scotland actually is. And I enjoy the juxtaposition between, somebody did English, between real Scotland and the Scotland people pay to see. And sometimes it's just my opinions on stuff as well. But it's partly based on my dad, because my dad, whenever we go somewhere like that he knows stuff about, like we went to this, there's a garden in a castle in England called the Poison Garden. It's got all these poisonous plants in it, and you get a tour about like which plant can kill you and how. And every time the guide would say something, my dad would lean in and go, well, that's not actually true. And because he's not like a romantic, he's like facts only, even if they're not entertaining or fun. So it's sort of based on like someone who would rather tell you the truth than entertain you.
Right.
That's funny.
And ironically, people find that entertaining.
Yeah. Is that like, so this person that was showing you the poisonous plants, why? I don't get why they would be lying about the...
Well, it's more like, for example, oh my God, this is...
I want to hear about the poisonous plants.
Tangent. So there was a rosemary bush in there, right?
Right.
And a rosemary is technically poisonous if you eat enough of it.
Was it the
Who's
same
doing
as
that?
So
everything?
is everything,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was the point of it, really. Was
Right,
that
okay.
you can make stuff seem more, like any tour you've been on where they exaggerate, or if you've been on an Edinburgh Ghost tour, for example, like maybe it's technically true, but some of it's been embellished to be a bit more exciting.
Yeah.
And Craig is sort of the opposite of that, I guess.
I don't think that white
Strip it
lady
away.
of Corstorphine photo was real. That scene, for example.
What if it was Tina Turner?
Like, well,
Yeah.
well, she's not a white lady.
Get that.
Yeah, could do cut that.
I mean, I'm sure Eleanor's dad would be here going, I mean, that's just a fact.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
fact.
just a
That's a
fact.
fact.
Yeah, I mean, there's no disputing that.
He really would.
Because I'd heard about Walter Scott's novel. I've read one of them. Can't remember which one. What's the one? Oh, Waverley, of course.
Yeah.
And but all that stuff, he just made up puns of shit about
Yeah,
Scottish
he
history.
did. I actually got a bone to pick with him. The reason, do you know the reason why Edinburgh is so like tart and tat today?
No.
Because of him.
Because of him. Because in early 19th century, George IV, Prince of Wales, that guy, regent, was visiting Edinburgh, and Walter Scott was like, we better put on a show. So he got like the whole place covered in tartan. He got everyone to wear kilts. He sort of decked it out. And the prince turns up. He's got a kilt on. He's wearing like these pink tights. It's just, and ever since then, Scotland's had this like Edinburgh's had this like kitschy kind of tartan-y.
Really?
Right.
Yeah. So I blame him because he kind of, and you're right, he does make up stuff, and then he's like, there's a lot of stuff I think that's based on the way Walter Scott presents Scotland.
Yeah.
He's running about putting plaques up saying J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter. Yeah.
Aye.
Walter Scott was in the Elephant House. That's where he wrote Waverley.
That's crazy though. That so just basically they wanted to just put on a show for him that one
Yeah.
time. And
When was this?
stayed like that ever since.
This is like early like 1800s.
Okay.
So
So you're telling me that they had Diana Memorial Tartan even back then?
but they didn't know who she was.
The prophecy is fulfilled.
I wonder who buys Diana Memorial Tartan.
That's my.
I do think that would ever pass that.
Yeah,
That's my family's clan tartan. Actually,
it is not.
It is. I come from a long line of Diana Memorials. That's my mother's maiden name.
Mark's Diana Memorial.
Diana Memorials.
What's your crest? Is it a white
Let's not
phoenix?
get
Just
into
a broken heart. You mentioned that you are into history,
Yeah.
Eleanor.
Yeah.
What's your favourite historical period?
This is some good comparing, Marcel.
What's the biggest bit of history you've ever seen shoved up your ass? Do you have a particularly special day? Is there anything in particular that fascinates you?
I like I like stuff where there's big changes happening, and so like the Industrial Revolution.
Hinge points of history?
Yeah. Oh, is
Perhaps.
that the phrase?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh.
Sometimes when you're
Someone's been on Wikipedia before you got here.
Hinge points of history. Wait, is that not? Let me do a joke. Hinge points of history. Isn't that just what's Mark's phone? What's on Mark's phone? Does that work?
That's
Yeah,
it worked.
that's stage ready, I think.
That's dating app.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
why-
Just to,
Oh, my browsing history.
this is good stuff, guys.
This is
Yeah.
good. This is
I
good
think we
workshopping.
Keep workshopping this
Um,
after we record.
I like.
They cut this out as well because I'm going to use this as material. Actually.
All of us are doing a version of this instead.
It's like the aristocrats.
I like social history. I like stuff about everyday things, like what people wore and what they ate, and stuff that makes you feel connected to it because it's stuff we do now.
Yeah.
But it's stuff you wouldn't really think about, like how did people sleep, or there's a theory that people used to sleep in two. It's not been proven, but in two little chunks. Have you heard this?
I've heard this.
Yeah.
Is that the old Maggie Thatcher routine? She not do 4 hours at a time.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. She was.
I think Ronaldo does that as well. Him and Thatcher. Fucked up sleep.
Okay.
When do they sleep? In the afternoon and at night?
They both hate Argentina.
Yeah, she used to have like 2 hours sleep and eat one boiled egg, and that was how she survived.
Yeah.
And people wonder why she. So no, people would sleep. They'd go to bed when it got dark, and then they'd sort of wake up naturally around like 3 a.m. And then they'd like have an hour where they just like
Like cats?
yeah, like cats. Yeah, we were more like cats. And weren't we happier?
Very, yeah.
And then you'd go back to sleep again. But they're not entirely sure that's definitely true. It's just a theory.
Yeah.
I don't see what the benefit would be. Like, what you're doing at 3 a.m.
Just kind of hanging out.
Fuck all to do back then.
But the fuck out to do now at 3 a.m.
That's like some Mark Wahlberg kind of grind
Yeah.
set.
Oh yeah,
That's horrible.
up at 3 a.m. Do your embroidery.
9 holes of golf, prayer,
He's
cryo
a,
chamber.
he's a mental racist. Do you know his history?
Allegedly. I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's been arrested for
Some real dodgy stuff.
Yeah.
big
Marky Mark.
Marky Mark.
As he was known.
Back in his
Yeah.
Marky Mark days.
Yeah.
Dark. So that's not my favourite period of history.
No.
Do you have a favourite period of history?
Well, here's my thing. I always go to what if you could go back to one period of history to see what it was like. What would you go back to?
Well, realistically, none of them.
No.
Because time travel doesn't. No, because it would be shit. It'd be a lie.
Your dad in the fucking tour here. It's actually not
Also
possible.
can't actually do that.
Just like if I was in some kind of safety bubble where I couldn't get any diseases or,
Sure.
I think
I would want my own bathroom with me, actually.
yeah.
You're
the-
bringing it
like
on
the
sweet.
TARDIS.
In the TARDIS.
This is like take the park.
I'd be glamping. Glamping in the past.
Glamping through history.
Clapping in the past with Mark Jennings.
That would be a good.
That's like a
Imagine
travel
you
log.
at Culloden and you're in everyone's in their tents and he's in his yurt.
He's in the VIP section.
Is Jennings up yet?
Wearing my Diana Memorial tie.
Who is that? I don't know. There's loads of times. Maybe when Mary Queen of Scots was alive, that was a turbulent time.
Why?
Yeah, there's a lot of random weird stuff going on.
What's the deal with Mary Queen of Scots? What's she
French.
all about?
She
What
all
is
about?
French?
the deal? She was French.
See, I know
Yeah,
some stuff.
There you
I know
go.
some
She didn't have a Scottish accent.
She didn't, and that's why I think I'm her reincarnated.
Does she live in the Barton Castle? Am I right in saying that?
There's a lot of castles she stayed in.
I
She's
think
sort of
she
like,
got shagged in Burn Island once.
She-
In
Yeah.
Ross End Castle, I think she had an affair.
Wouldn't be
She
the
got
first.
We've all done it. We've all done
Stuart's
it.
fucking ancestor.
That was a hinge point in history in Burn Island. I read a plaque one time.
That she got shagged.
Well, I mean, not in as many words, but
Oh,
I think she had an affair and it happens in Ross End Castle in Burn Island.
Would Craig describe it as she got shagged in a castle, do you think? Or was
Yeah.
she less?
No, I think he probably would. Maybe call her a massive shagger. She was.
Yeah, what was she getting at then, Mary Queen of Scots?
What was she?
What was she giving it?
What? How many people?
Well, no, just
Specific.
What was she all about?
What was she up to?
Oh, right. She had 3 husbands. They were all terrible.
She was a shagger then.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Fair play.
She kind of came back to Scotland when she was a teenager after being away in France and all these Lord Regents. She had you know the Burniston Mad Uncle sketch?
Yes.
It was like that. You sighing like, what the hell? She had all these mad uncles who were in charge of Scotland while she was away, and none of them wanted to give up the crown. And so she had to kind of spend the next couple of years like dealing with them. And they didn't like her or her husbands or her friends. They stabbed one of them to death.
Wow.
David Rizzio is in Holyrood Palace. Basically, she was hanging out with her friend David, who's this Italian guy. And the regents all just burst in and stab him to death.
Oh, God.
And that was just her life. Like, she was the queen as well. She was technically like the most powerful one, but
And she could have sentenced them to
I
death.
don't think she could have done because
No.
they were the ones who were really in charge. So yeah, a lot of political intrigue.
So what if you wanted to go back to this time? What would you be up to at this period?
I would. What would I do? What would be the most savvy thing to do? Probably say nothing and keep quiet. As a woman.
Yeah. If the Queen can't do anything,
exactly.
I
then
don't fancy your chances.
Yeah.
when was this? What year?
This is like the 16th century, mid 16th century. So
I would like to visit medieval times.
yeah, the restaurant.
Yeah. It looks cool. It looks really cool.
What would you like to do in medieval times?
I'll go to like jousting.
Yeah, you can do that. Historic Scotland put them on.
Do they?
Yeah,
I don't want to go to that though. I want to see some deaths.
I went to one once at Linlithgow Castle, and Alex Salmond was there because he was First Minister, and he was sitting on a little throne, and I thought that was quite inappropriate.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign of things to come.
And you
His downfall.
was up with that guy.
I would like to go
Something's
see in the
up there.
medieval. I'd love to go to a medieval pub. Like, know how like
A tavern.
Yeah.
a tavern.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah,
be
a
brilliant.
flag and a veil
Yeah,
and
Be
lovely.
brilliant. Aye.
a pot of stew.
Aye. I mean, I don't know what they've have on tap back then, but
Not good stuff. I don't
I
know.
don't
No.
think it would be.
when just sitting by can all warm and all that, and the fire. I mean, I could just go to a pub
Again,
now.
I think we could just do that.
Yeah.
There's a
It'd be
lot of things
stinking.
you could just do now, but better.
Yeah. Yeah.
As before
No
smoking.
cell phones, just everyone in the moment.
That's
Yeah.
it. There was no smoking because cigarettes hadn't been invented yet, probably. So
That's
you know.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Would we be worse because of all the disease there? Are our immune systems good that we would be able to handle that, or would we be worse off
I
because
think because a lot of those diseases have been eradicated, we wouldn't be.
used to them?
Because now anti-vaxxers, like the amount of people not getting vaccinated means some of them are coming back,
Aye.
Oh,
and we're not ready for them, like polio and shit.
Uh-huh.
Scary ones. So yeah, I think you.
Might
So
be about
we
to
would
live
get-
through the medieval times again.
The Black Death
Yeah,
is coming
I
for
don't
us
think
all.
anyone would live through that.
I could
You
take
think
on the Black
Take-
Death.
You
take it
think
on the
you'd
chin.
be robust?
Yeah, I think I could do the Black Death.
Do you take your vitamin gummies every day?
I used
You
to.
told us you had ringworm about 2 weeks ago.
I actually have disappeared, so I
Well,
think
there
it's
you go.
fine.
You're
There
much
you go.
fit.
Yeah.
The ringworm.
As you
thing-
survived your own black death. Right?
Ringworm sounds worse than what it is, and I assume the same as Black
I imagine it's
No,
a worm
Black
that's
Death
in
is
your
really
eyes.
I'd say it's quite famously bad, the Black Death.
La.
A third of Europe was killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rubbish. They're rubbish.
You're
those
Black
guys.
Death deny, right?
I would be a real Black
Yeah,
Death.
where's
denier.
the
5G's the real
evidence?
Black Death.
Everyone's like dying around you, and you're like,
Nah,
nah,
not happening.
don't believe it.
I thought you would want to go back to Greek times when the myths were being
Oh.
made.
Yeah,
we
but
told on.
because they are myths, I don't think they would be. It would be less fun
Aye.
because it's.
The
You could have a
reality's getting.
Bacchanalia though,
I could.
What does that mean?
like a kind of fun drunken orgy.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
You can have that now as well.
Again, yeah.
You can do anything. Now.
I think it'd be
It's
more
on
fun
your
in
phone these
Greece.
days.
It would be, and they were shagging.
I'd go back to
everyone.
Burnt Island and try and have one with Queen of Scots.
She'd probably go for it. She was all over the place.
Yeah, but like Greece, you could get your hole off anyone because they. No, like you could, because it was like.
But they were
very-
shagging Waynes and all that back then. You don't want to be
I
doing that.
don't,
Trying to
right,
be doing
that's,
that. He
I'm
doesn't
not
wanna do
talking about
that.
Well, that's what you're just. I mean, I'm just saying that
They
that's
used
what
to
they're
Mark's
up
just
to.
saying sounds a bit naughty to us.
I'm talking guys, girls,
Right.
non-binary. Anything.
Oh, you can also do all that today. As well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Is it just the weather? The weather makes it feel it more exciting.
Exactly.
The clothes and the weather.
The togas, the weather, and you can afterwards write a wee story about
Yeah.
a god.
Yeah.
Stevelos.
You can do that now.
Stevelos the Great.
Stavros Flatley. do you remember him?
Yeah,
That was a time in British history.
that was great.
That's
I
when
loved
I'd
those
go
guys.
back to.
You'd go back to watch them.
BGT and its pump
For the
era.
first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peak.
Pol Pot.
Did you
I
guys
was-
ever get asked to be on Britain's Got Talent?
I think I did
Yeah,
get
yeah,
a
I think so.
message
a few
once.
times.
Wasn't-
Refused.
Imagine that gig. Holy shit.
I know.
Terrible.
Did you ever get asked?
I got asked, and I think I would have been awful.
Buzzed. Would you have got
Me
them?
too.
I think they would have. Yeah. Well, I think my style could have. It's like very awkward and deadpan. And I could easily have edited that to be awkward and deadpan.
Yeah, you're an
Yeah.
editor's dream.
Yeah,
I'm afraid.
exactly.
Hung out to dry.
Yeah, but you guys, I feel like you guys could have. Well, you'll never know now.
Oh, we could
I think
start.
it's still
Is it,
going,
Is
is
it
it not?
finished?
I don't
Someone
know.
told me recently that they got approached and they were
Aye.
asking me if they should do it.
I'll send that hinge joke to them and see.
See
Is that-
Well, where that
I'll
came
get me the golden buzzer or whatever. No, I've never. I don't know. I just don't think I would have the material for it because it's always got to be family friendly stuff and all that, isn't it? And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
You could do
not
it.
that squeaky.
Comics
clean.
have done it and who are good and have done well.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not for dolls like us. I don't think.
No.
I don't fancy it.
But even these days, like folk that have been on it in recent years, I don't even think it's necessarily like the ticket seller it was
No, I don't think
No.
even a few years ago. Do you know what I mean?
so.
Hugo Venn's doing well out of it.
I know he
theatre.
is, but like
He
I
won
think
it.
there's
Yeah,
other
he did,
people.
Didn't he?
that-
It's still on.
But then I think it's like your audience is just old people and children as
Yeah.
soon as you go on it.
It's my target demographic.
Well,
so.
yeah, I'm not knocking that. That's like back in the Greek times. You know?
You guys ever had children in your shows, like
Yeah, I've had a.
during the Fringe and stuff?
Yeah,
I had one time
remember that. Is this
when Steve opened, when you opened for me, because we were doing the free Fringe, and I was running late, and so Steve started my show for me. He done like 10 minutes at the top until I could get there,
Nice.
and then when I turned up and went on stage, there was a fucking wee 13-year-old boy on the second row with his fucking
Really?
parents and all that.
I don't
Do you not
know.
remember this?
I thought you were talking about. We went to see some guy that was on like Russell Howard's
Oh,
thing,
aye, that
and it was these two pristine little kids. They're like 10 years
Oh my
old,
God.
and he got them on stage, and they're having a laugh and all that.
Yeah, he's like a wee E4 presenter kind of guy. I don't
Yeah.
know who. I can't even remember his name. I don't think he's doing it anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah, he was like, yeah, they properly loved it, didn't they?
The wee kids loved it, and they got to go on stage and all that. And then we went to go and see Sandy Patel, Paul McDaniel, and Ali Houston, I think.
Yeah,
And
Laughter Birth. It was called the
Laughter
show.
Birth was the title of the show.
In
I get
the
it.
staff room of the City of Three Sisters, which is now that it's like a karaoke booth, a tiny room.
Lo-
Yeah.
Like 20 people there. These two wee kids sitting in the front row for
Oh.
that. And Sandy Patel opens the joke with like.
He actually says to them at first, he goes like that. He says to the mum, for this next one, just you should probably cover their ears. And then she just sat there and didn't
And
do
she
it.
was like, no, they're fine. They've seen comedy before.
And
We're
he-
just at an E4,
Not like
guys.
you're about to see.
No, and he done the. Do you remember what the line was?
You go for it. I can't remember.
He says, I can't remember what the sale was, but the punchline was something like eating out the back passage of an airline pilot. And then instantly the mum stands up, take the kids out of this room of like 10 people and just goes, "You're sick."
Sandy's like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
as well.
So nice.
And it's like so, and he was like done everything he could to like try to get
Yeah, I
them.
fucking warned you.
Yeah, but you know,
Imagine how many steps you have to explain as well to your
Yeah.
kids.
I had a very nice couple in. They weren't just, because I think they're fans, last year from the Netherlands, and they brought their 9-year-old son with them. And when I said, "Oh, is he coming into the show?" They went, "Yeah, don't worry, he won't get bored.
That's not what you want to hear.
He'll just play video games." So he was playing on his thing.
That's crazy, isn't it?
But you can't be like, I've just remembered I've complained about this on a different podcast. So if people like listen to my oeuvre, it's just me slagging off
Yeah.
my fans.
Do not bring your kids to
No.
Please
Yeah,
don't.
leave them at home.
Well,
And, yeah.
Was it distracting?
Yeah, it was very, yeah. And then sometimes he'd chime in as well with opinions. And
Oh God.
I think it's because I'm not, this is going to surprise you guys, I'm not very confrontational. And I probably look very family friendly. And I'm not family friendly, but I'm not family friendly.
It'd be amazing to see like a clip, like comedian destroys
9-year-old
9-year-old.
crying. No, he's
He's throwing his DS out the window.
I had a literal baby in one of my gigs at the Free
Oh,
Fringe one
yeah.
because you're not in control of the door or anything. Just someone with like a literal baby in her arms. And
Babes in arms.
Yeah,
That's,
policy.
they always go there when you sign up for the Fringe registration. They
yeah.
always ask that question: "What is your babes in arms policy?"
Such a
I
weird
said
way.
no babes anymore.
No arms.
The only babes that are going to be in my arms, are they? They go on Hinge. Am I right?
The hinge point in history.
You always tick like, whatever, because you don't think anyone will take a baby. And then sometimes they do.
It would be distracting if did it start crying.
Yeah, it wasn't like, but it was wailing occasionally. And obviously, I'm trying to make a thing of it and also do a show. It's like too much to deal with. But it's in such a small room as well that like
Yeah.
there's like 30 people there or something.
Aye.
You're like, it feels like there's a live grenade in the room because you're like, we're all just thinking about this baby.
It's like when that Doug was in that gig we done recently.
I know.
He could just bark at any
Centre.
point.
Yeah, just like, all right, cool. I guess we're all playing second fiddle to this fucking dog then.
Yeah. It's like you're doing a party piece at a family gathering and then a baby or a dog turns up and everyone's like, well, this is better.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is better than your
Shush.
No.
shit little
Except
magic
it's-
trick.
Except it's your show.
Have you enjoyed performing live more since people have maybe been coming to see you through the videos?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I don't really do the same stuff live, but
Aye.
it's definitely been like the Fringe has been much, not nicer, but like I've had bigger audiences and you can, they already know your thing when they get there, which
Aye.
is quite nice.
Absolutely. Because I remember I was seeing your show at the Fringe, like maybe in close to 10 years
You
ago.
told
now.
me about this and that blew my mind. I was like, wow.
Aye, and it was in Stand 2, and you the main thing I can remember about it is when everybody was coming in, you were greeting them in character.
Yeah, I was playing a Geordie coal mining tour guide actually. What is it with me?
There you go.
And I think it was for Beamish. You ever been to Beamish?
Yes.
It was a fake version of Beamish. I don't know why. I think I just like doing accents. And yeah, but I can't believe you went to that. That's hilarious.
Aye.
You also told me that when you were starting out, me and my friends were like, the top people. I just
Yeah.
think that's hilarious.
Well, even I'm like, oh my god, doing the Stand 2 was like, to me, I was like, oh, that would have been,
amazing.
the pinnacle.
You can do it now. And
I doubt you remember this, but I shared a taxi with you about 10 years ago as well.
whoa.
And
Why
it's-
wouldn't I remember that?
Well, it was like for like a writer's room thing, but it was before I did stand up.
Oh,
It's to do with
was
the
it?
independence. Was that show?
That's the same thing. You were doing it as well.
Yeah, well, we done a radio thing together
Right.
I said this
Was
to
this a
Fred.
different thing?
Yeah, that's right.
It was just,
So
I
many
was in.
things.
I don't know if you were in the room or not, but this is before I
not.
knew anyone. I didn't do stand up, but it's the same thing. I was like, oh, she does stand up. Like she's legit. She's someone.
This is made up for all my high school bullying. Thank you for saying that. What was that thing? What was it called?
What's
Sorry.
funny about the indie ref? I think it was
Oh,
called.
yeah.
It was like a
called
young
that.
writers college
Yes.
thing, wasn't it?
Were you? Did you do that?
I submitted sketches and they never used them.
Mm.
I know, because I was on Fred's show promoting it and they never used any of my sketches. Did you get ones on it?
I got one, but I think it was quite heavily rewritten.
Aye, sure.
Apart from
So-
the course.
I think
Fair
my
enough.
parents watched it, and then I was annoyed that it was rewritten, and was like, "No, don't watch the rest." Very mature.
Rubbish. The sketch that I submitted was about fish oil tablets. And it was,
You should redo that. You should-
and it was
Is that based on a
guy.
recurring nightmare by any chance?
Still, on the word death.
yeah, I was I can't remember how I got to this point, but I was cleverly combining the fishing industry with the oil industry,
That's
and I
good.
put fish oil.
Yeah, that's actually that's what you're called in my phone. Is fish oil guy.
Shoyle WX.
It's like my old Stuart Lee thing. It's like,
You're
you're
an
an
oil.
oil, how you a sardine. Is that the gist
Tom
of it?
O'Connor.
So
I
yeah,
feel like maybe I don't remember that. Maybe I'm making that up. But
or did they not use? Did they use it? Not pay me? Perhaps. I don't think they used it.
Putting on blast from 10 years ago. Yeah.
It's all a
I'm
blur.
due 20 quid.
Yeah.
Probably.
residues,
Yeah.
repeat fees,
The amount of times they showed that program, probably twice.
constantly.
Yeah, I remember. Nah, I didn't get any luck with that. I was jealous when you told me about it years later that you
Yeah.
got involved in it.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Did you study acting at any point? Were you? Is that how you got?
I-
How did you get any stand up? Was it through that? Or was it?
Yeah, I went to college and did a year of acting at college.
Uh-huh.
That was really fun. But yeah, I wanted to be an actor when I was younger.
Uh-huh.
And then someone said, you could be a stand-up comedian. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that.
Aye.
So it's not a very interesting story. It's not like I got into it by accident. When I was 12, I was like, I'm going to be a stand-up comedian.
Oh really? Oh, that young?
Yeah.
Because 18's young to start.
Yeah. It was basically as soon as I could like legally go into pubs. I was like, right, let's go. Which is, I'm glad I was naive and full of joie de vivre because I think if I'd waited, life would have crushed me a bit more and then I would have been. But you guys must have been pretty young when you.
I think I was 21.
22,
21,
maybe
22, yeah.
22.
Ugh.
Why bother?
I remember being jealous starting though, being like, like someone like Gareth Much started when he was like 17, 18. You're like, he's got like 5 years on me.
Yeah, no. Absolutely.
He's a veteran.
Like
But
Josie started when she was like 14
She
or
did,
something.
yeah.
That's
She was
crazy.
really young. But you also, I think some people need, I feel like I needed to start then to kind of just get over like stage fright and, because I could do acting and stuff, but it's different when you're doing stand-up.
Aye.
So I feel like I needed that head start because I was very anxious and not confident. Obviously now I'm not anxious. I'm super confident. Really chill.
Did you feel like the acting thing, is that subsided it? Are you just doing stand up or are you wanting to do more?
Yeah, no, I still do acting. I still like it, but I think I prefer stand-up because I think it's just, you just don't really get any other job where you can write and perform something in the same day that you think of it. There's a lot more control, I think, and maybe I'm quite controlling.
Yeah. Is that what you like about the videos as well? Because I suppose you can do that then as well. where
Yeah, you can just bash them out.
Do
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Bash them out. Yeah, and then it's funny because once you've done that by yourself for such a long time, and then you start working with people again, like TV and people like that, and they've got all these rules and things, and you're like, oh yeah, I can't just like film it on my phone and stick it on the internet.
Yeah.
I have to go through a process. So
A convoluted process.
Yeah.
well, I'm saying nothing.
We get spoiled, don't we? Getting full control.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of advice that I got as well. Like my dad said when I was like, I wanted to be an actor when I was a wee guy because I watched Home Alone and I thought it looked class. And he was like, you need to do stand up to become an actor.
He's clever.
Yeah.
But that's
Was he in show business? I thought he sold fireplaces.
It
and
did.
stuff.
He's just savvy.
That's such a mental way. Like, surely that is not the best way to become an actor. Surely going to acting school is
That's
a
a
better
well-trodden path, that though. He must. I bet he's watched some of this. Like,
He's-
that's how Robin Williams did.
He's
that.
watched
Robin.
Robin Williams and
yeah.
Jim Carrey, and
Yeah.
he's went, "That's
Woody
how you
Allen
do it."
maybe. or
That's how a lot of
something.
people
But you know,
still do it.
you will. Sometimes you'll meet people who are definitely actors doing stand up,
Aye.
Yeah.
and you can tell they're not really into the stand up. They just want to do acting, and they're like waiting for the point where someone recognizes them and then they can do more acting.
And that point will come for me, I'm sure. Just waiting for the call.
Really committed to this.
But yeah, no, I remember when because I used to do like loads of youth theatre and stuff, and I got an audition once for an STV show, which was like, oh my god,
Big
we
time.
had to go through to Glasgow. Like I had to take a day off school. My dad had to take a day off work to take me to this thing. It was at did STV have a studio like right in the middle of town, like
Sunday.
next to the
Quayside. is it
Donald
not?
Jewis studio statue.
I mean, maybe they would have.
Oh, this was,
someone
like,
who would
ages
have-
ago.
Yeah, maybe.
But I did it, and then we had a pizza, which was again.
That's
Big
cool.
day. And my dad was kind of like, you could tell he was already overthinking the whole process. Like, she's going to get this. She's going to become an actor. She's going to get into drugs. So he was like, being a child actor it's not a good life. It's just I'm cutting up my pepperoni piece. I didn't even get it, but
He's going through the script, pointing out factual inaccuracies. Far-fetched, this. Nonsense.
honestly, nail on the head.
I don't
So,
think this dog would talk.
we were watching, Emma, the Jane Austen film. There's a big Mark's a big fan, yeah.
I've read it.
Yeah, that's good.
For
Very good.
uni, I don't remember
I've heard of it.
anything about it, but
There's a scene where they're on this hill a real hill in Surrey, and it's like a big emotional moment. And my dad goes, "That's not Box Hill," and I'm like, "Why? Why isn't it Box Hill?" And he's like, "Well, you'd never get conifers growing in chalky soil." You've really improved the film. Thank you. It's just his vibe.
yeah, that's
funny.
good.
That's a good vibe. I think.
Yeah, no,
Keep you
I
grounded.
appreciate it. It's good to have someone.
Do you remember what that audition was like when you were that age? Because I think I would be.
I think it was a lot of improv because I think we were too young to. It was. I don't think they ever made it. It was a CITV show about a girls' football team,
Right.
and I assume because I wasn't in it, they never made it. So
Yeah, that's the only
Yeah.
logical explanation.
Did you play football?
nope. Nope. No.
Any interest in football?
Nope.
That's fine.
I mean, I know which teams, gun to my head, but no.
No, God,
The
I can't
answer
see
is
it.
no.
You're all right.
I could only imagine how mental it must have been starting out on the Scottish comedy circuit at 18 as an 18-year-old
There's a lot of
lassie.
characters.
Yeah,
A lot of characters. Some of whom are still going.
yeah.
What year was this?
2010.
Right.
Did you ever do, because we spoke to Jay Laffey about this when she was in, and we've not mentioned that much, but did you ever do Max Star gigs?
I knew you were going to say Max Starr.
Because we never met him
I
before.
never
our
met
time.
I never met him. I never did them, but I heard so much about them. I know that Fern said she got a lift from.
Aye,
Have you heard this story?
I think so.
She got a lift from him once to a gig, and she got in the car, and he turned to her and went, "I didn't rape that woman."
What?
She's like, "Cool, great."
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
he was fun. There was I got not fun. Not fun. What do I mean? Scary. There was a bunch of people who were just mad, sort of oligarchs of their own little
Aye.
comedy kingdom. But I'm trying to think of who I could mention who wouldn't be.
Aye.
Who's
Or
not-
even just the gigs, like, because obviously a lot of them are just in like wee pubs and stuff like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and then you go and you're like,
Yeah.
I've got nothing to say to these people or whatever. Like, I done one in a bit, and it was in between Glasgow and Edinburgh. I can never remember what it was. Like, it was somewhere like Croy. I don't think it was Croy,
Right.
but it was like one of those stops on like the long train between Glasgow and Edinburgh. And I remember it was like my 4th or 5th gig, and it was mental. It was just like the shitest wee town, a shitty wee pub, and I'm like a fucking 22-year-old. I don't think I have anything to say. It went all right if I remember, but I was just like, what am I doing here?
I
Yeah.
think at that age as well, when you're that inexperienced, part of you's like, I guess this is comedy though.
Yeah.
They're running the gig and they know they're comedians and I this is how it is and I'm doing it and I'm in showbiz now in this pub. I remember I did a gig in a pub in Curry when I started out that was like just 10 minutes of being hated solidly.
God.
And but at the time I was like, it's comedy though, I'm doing comedy, it's just gigs, eh? But yeah, I did a gig in the bottom of a boat once.
Bought me a boat.
Yeah.
The
Where
boat
was it?
show in London? No.
No,
That's
that's
on the top of the boat.
that's the top of the boat.
That's but-
That's how you know you've made it. You get to gig on the surface of the boat. This is in like the depths of the boat.
Like in the just people shoveling coal
Yeah.
whilst you're trying to do a gig.
Titanic.
How did that come about?
I can't remember. It was just one of those random one-off gigs where someone gets in touch and they're like, "Do you want to do this?"
Yeah.
And then it was in that boat that's moored in Leith at the shore that I used to think when I was a child was the Royal Yacht Britannia, but it's not. It's just a boat.
Depressing.
But yeah, that's the
How
weirdest.
did that go?
Oh, it wasn't good. But yeah, again, you're like, what a crazy life in a boat doing gigs. Showbiz.
Yeah. Sometimes it was quite good. You would just accept mad gigs because you're like, well, it's quite a good story to say that I've gigged here.
Yeah.
You know?
I always felt as well when I first started out that you couldn't knock back gigs if
Yeah.
someone offered you a
People
gig.
do say that, don't they, as advice? Like, do every gig.
Yeah.
It's not
So you
true.
just do it, and then you're like, this is
Why the fuck
actually.
would
You need to earn your crust, you know, you got to pay your dues.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot of gatekeeping, if that's the right word, when it comes to
Yeah.
like new comedians being told what they have to do.
Stay and watch the headliner,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah, and I just I think once you've done more of it, you realise you can bend the rules a bit. But yeah, when you start, you're like, I better do everything these people tell me because
Yeah.
they know.
They know best.
Yeah.
Remember we done a gig, I think it was for like Gary Faulds or Gary Miko,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just in that sort of wee,
In that pub,
in that pub, there was just,
and I had that bottle of bucky in the back of your motor.
you were like, oh, thank God I've got that bucket, I'm going to bring it out for these animals.
What was it? Peace offering.
I was like
I
bear
don't know
baiting
what
or
you
something.
What did you do? You just
I
showed
just
them it and they
drank
were
it.
like,
Because had
They
we
were
not done
clapping.
something that day? We had done something earlier that day, like
Christ.
we'd filmed something, or I can't remember, but we were doing
were
that
on
at
a
night.
high.
And the
Yeah.
reason we had that bottle in the back of your car was it was something like we'd used it as a prop or something like that.
that's right.
And then and
You're
because
like,
you had the
"Thank
car,
God
I
I've
was
got a bucket."
I just drank it. Because we went to Mango in Clydebank that night in the nightclub. I remember that. Weird. Anyway,
What
that's
day?
totally irrelevant. But
Great day.
I know that was fine. Sometimes you just
Drink all of it.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I
You had to drive home, so
no, that was one of the rare occasions you were driving actually, because that's why I remember doing it. But no, sometimes you need to do that. There was another gig we done for Miko once, and it was in Tory Glen, and it was one of those ones where the microphone was like. So like, it was on like one of
They
those
keep coming
DJ
out.
booths.
Oh, right,
So it was
it's
like so
attached.
it was like you
Oh
could only
my
stand
God.
like 4 feet for the booth, and it was like in this weird bit of
You're
corner
like
of
Ray
a
Vaughan
pub.
from Phoenix Nights. To
Aye, that was a tough gig, that one.
that really was.
He's went on to much better things subsequently, but I'm still occasionally doing those type of pubs.
Yeah.
There's so many of them, like especially before like Monkey Barrel, like I would have said, oh, Edinburgh doesn't have room for 2 comedy clubs, like there's not enough. But it absolutely, it does, which is so great because I feel like before then Edinburgh there was so many gigs that would just not last because felt like there wasn't enough stuff there. So
Aye.
it's it feels really nice now.
It's healthy.
Yeah, healthy.
Healthy.
Did you guys do this? Was before my time, but I always think of it because I got told about it. It's on Rose Street and it's called the Shack now.
Yes.
There was like a gong show there or something.
Jojo
I signed up
Sutherland's.
to do
Yeah.
that twice and I never ended up doing it.
I just always look at it and go, fuck it now. I'm
I-
glad I wasn't around for that.
I remember they had one of those old fashioned mics, like a silver
Yeah, like
one.
the Buble mic.
Yeah.
That you always see on comedy posters, like live comedy, and it's got the Buble mic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I've never ever seen in my life.
kind
I
of
think the-
crooner mic.
Thousands of gigs I've never
The
seen. in my
Rat
life.
Pack are gonna
Yeah.
come out and do
Yeah,
some
Nat King
quips.
Cole's doing a type 5.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of gigs like that in various different.
Did you do the Shack?
I did the Shack. I did it, whatever their weekend was. or-
Aye. Because that was the prize, wasn't it? You got a spot in the weekend gig or something?
Yeah.
If you got the gong, you got through the gong.
There are, some of these things you're mentioning are like core memories that I've forgotten, and it's just
Yeah.
bringing them out again. Like, oh yeah, that.
Like you bring out your trauma here.
But there's so many places that I like in Glasgow, especially. I don't even know what they are now, but they used to be like these random gigs. Or did you guys ever do what's it called? On Woodlands,
The Hole?
The
the Hole.
Yeah.
I
That's where
just missed the
basically
Hole, I
kind of
think.
started,
Oh,
basically.
yeah.
It was
I
in there.
spent many a night in the halt.
Malky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's he now?
Arrested. In jail, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not
Sorry
going to
if
do
you're
the
listening,
Max Star
Malky.
callback. I thought about. I'm just going to leave that.
I that was a nice room though. Like I thought that actual room was quite nice for what it was.
I had good gigs in there, and
It
I
was
had
always-
a couple of
It
bad ones.
had an audience.
Yeah.
Because I walked by now and it's that fucking, it's that
FF.
beer place is
or
taking
something,
over.
it's
Aye,
called.
and
In
it's
the West.
it's like a West Brewery or something like that. And
Yeah.
I just see the kitchen there and I'm like, could be a good room still.
But
Do you
that
not just think whenever you're in any room, you could run a gig in it?
Aye.
No, I will never run a gig. I hate
Yeah.
I hate
It's not worth
organising
No, I'm
stuff.
not going to do it, but you could.
You could, but I would never. I would never start a gig just to get more gigs. I'd be like, nah, I guess I won't have any gigs then.
It's not worth the stress.
It's not worth the stress.
Did you see when you done your first kind of fringe shows? Did you
Yeah.
always do kind of charactery stuff?
I just sort of, well, no, I did musical stuff. I just did a bunch of random whatever I was into, really.
Aye. Because it's like, because I suppose that's the thing, like with the fringe, it's such a good opportunity to do that type of stuff
Yeah.
that you don't normally get when you're gigging in all these mad pubs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I felt like my first fringe show, like hour, was really just like me wanting to do an hour to see if I could do an hour and just try and figure stuff out, which I know is not really the way you're meant to do it, but I was just really keen to get going.
Yeah.
So I feel like that show was like, you know, I am proud of what it was because I was 22, but I think a lot of people came to that I didn't invite to be like, oh, what's this? And I'm like, it's nothing. Don't look at it. It's not really.
Aye. So nobody told you at that point to do a 45?
No,
or you just didn't
oh
want
no,
to do
I
it?
was just
Aye.
like, I'm going to, you know, it's just like the naivety, but I think the fringe should be that, you know. I think there's so much pressure now for the people put so much on their first hour to be this amazing thing, and then if they don't get what they want from it, then they just see the whole thing as a failure, which I think is so sad because that's it's not the point of it really.
No.
It didn't used to be.
Yeah, because there was a point where it was they weren't going to do the awards this year, and I thought it was quite a freeing thing.
Yeah,
it was
I
like,
remember.
people would just do it because they want to do it rather than
Well, in 2021, did you guys do anything in 2021? That was the kind of
just that. I done like a
Don't know what
two-hander with Liam Withnell. It was
Yes, we
great.
did.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was a night.
brilliant.
There was no flyering.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was
just
amazing.
a nice couple of weeks where everyone was just quite chill and had a nice time. So
Aye. Without the pressure of having to have a ready thing and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
yeah,
No, that's definitely like... I think it's kind of nice. I think in some ways it's going back to that, depending on your circumstances. But
Yeah.
if you've got like an audience from putting your online stuff out,
Yeah.
you can kind of do what you want if you know, if you stop worrying about what the quote unquote industry are coming to see or whatever. You know.
Do you guys ever get what's the word, like people being a bit snobby about, oh, you're from the internet, so you can't be doing your...
No, because I think because we done stand up first,
Yeah.
maybe.
No one knows I
not
did
to our
stand up
faces.
first.
Really? What?
Not to our faces.
No, yeah, we'll
No.
not talk about
I
it.
think it's more I worry about people thinking that myself rather than having had anyone actually sort of
Yeah,
say that to me.
Yeah.
Have you had that? Because
I mean,
people
again, I
don't
don't
realise.
know.
But you see people
They don't. Yeah, no one seems to know that I already did stand up, which is fine. But yeah, no, not really. I think I'm like you. I'm like nervous. People think that.
Yeah.
But
And you now, along with Michael Fry,
Michael
and
Fry,
Sean Burke,
Sean Burke.
is
Good
it
boys.
just one show you've done so far? Like a live
Yeah,
show?
we're doing another one in London and in Dublin in February.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we did one live show at Monkey Barrel, and that was really fun. And those two haven't really done a lot of live stuff before, so they were both really nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I was like, it's gonna be fine, and it was really nice. So
That would be cool. I'd like to
What's
see
the
that.
kind of format of that show?
it's sketches, and then us doing our own bits in between because we couldn't write 90 minutes of sketches in
90
in a month.
minutes?
That is
That's-
ambitious.
Well,
Yeah.
that was the length of the show, so it was sort of like I can't remember how many sketches, but sketches us.
These are all kind of viral. Well, I would say primarily I've seen all of your, what, the three of the videos
Yeah.
of yours on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting because people like will often say like TikTok's Eleanor Morton, and I don't really think of. I always sort of forget about TikTok because I don't really.
Yeah.
It's not where I hang out.
I think TikTok's just the word people use. Like, I've seen your
Yeah.
TikToks. They think that's the
That
word
means
for
a
videos.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reel is now becoming a thing that they'll
You
say
think?
instead of TikToks. You say,
Yeah.
oh, your reels, or I need
Yeah.
to make reels instead of the TikTok. But generally it's the
Yeah.
catch-all term, isn't it, for
Yeah.
all these fucking...
You never get I've seen your tweets.
Aye.
You never
Seen
really
your
get
Twitter videos.
Twitter videos.
Seen your shorts on YouTube.
Well, yeah,
This is another one.
that's true.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah.
These were Twitter people, basically.
Yeah, we were Twitter people, and now we're all, you know, that's obviously dying, so that's great.
Is that why you're having to do the live shows now?
So desperate. But I think it suited us. It just, I don't know about you guys, but for me, Twitter was the place where people who were very into writing as well, like other comedians basically, were hanging out, as opposed to like Instagram or TikTok. And now obviously I think Instagram is a bit more like that. But Twitter used to be like a great place to be, and people would see it like that you admired, and that, I don't know, you just felt like you were reaching more people who were.
I seen Patton Oswalt retweeting you,
He
and
did,
I was like,
yeah.
wow, that's pretty cool.
I've had a couple of cool ones, and I don't know if those people would have seen me on TikTok, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a shame what's happened to it.
yeah, every like 3 months or so, the three of us will like message each other like, "Is this it? Are we going down?" And then just gonna stay there till it's like last
Is ever going to
dying
be a
breath.
good alternative?
I don't know. What do you guys find is?
I'm sick of it at the minute, so I've not really been looking at it.
Yeah.
But I've also not. I can't even log into Threads.
Threads.
Oh,
No.
Threads, yeah.
Never.
Someone
And
gave me an invite for that other one.
People
Blue
do
Sky.
Blue
But I've
Sky,
not even
don't they?
looked
That's
into that.
Well, this is the thing, because people keep saying like, when are you coming to X or Y, and not X, obviously. And it's like
Y would be a good name for an alternative, actually.
that would really annoy him. But yeah, it's like, well, I don't know which place to go to, because now everyone's dispersed among all these other platforms. It's like, where do the most people go? Because I'm not going to post on like 8 different sites.
Here's what I hate about Twitter now, right? Is that so like since Elon Musk has taken over, they've just got rid of a lot of the sort of rules and regulations to an extent, right? So now all you see on Twitter is there's an ad for a game, and it shows you up, and underneath there's a community note that says this game is a scam.
Yeah.
It literally says that. And you're like, so you're taking their advertising money and you'll let people get sucked into it, as long as you can just go, by the way, just so you know, this is a
This
scam.
is a
Isn't real.
But you'll
Yeah.
just know, you just not run the ad.
Yeah, exactly.
You run it and take the money and then just do that wee thing at the bottom. And that's like the whole thing now. It's like, they just show you all this absolute shite.
Yeah.
It's basically like, everything is like your dad reading something and going, this is all
is all
spurious
horse
facts,
shit.
but then just your dad the one going, by the way, those flowers wouldn't be blooming in
He'd
the...
do that for free. It's like going into a shop that you know is a money laundering front,
Aye.
Yeah.
and you can see them at the back, like,
American candy.
yeah.
that is what Twitter is. It's in a fucking American candy store, isn't it? That is a brilliant way of putting it.
And they're not going to sue you for saying that, are you?
I hope not. It could be any
We
American
love
candy
American
store.
candy.
Candy, I only love it when it's American.
This is brought to you by American Candy, Lucky Charms, and all that. We should get them to sponsor us.
American candy.
I want to get a vape sponsorship.
I would happily have this podcast as a money laundering for
Yeah.
you want to get in
the
touch?
Patreon.
Yeah, Johnny, yeah, that's it. Greenwashing, what is it? Sports washing, comedy, what? Laugh washing.
Laugh
That's-
Is that where we pretend
Hog washing.
to
No,
be
that
comedians?
works. Does that not work?
That
Hog
works,
wash?
yeah.
That works.
Hog
How
wash.
does it work?
Hog
Is that
wash.
if a farmer is committing...
Yeah.
You're talking,
Is hog
you're
wash,
talking a lot of bloody hog wash over there, son.
is hog wash not like a sort of
Yeah, like, yeah, it means bullshit.
yeah?
Yeah.
Aye.
That works.
But-
Something in there.
yeah.
I
We
know
could-
with the hinge stuff. and
Yeah,
then
we do the hinge
once you've
stuff.
got them, you bring in the hog
closed
wash.
with the
But then it would need to be hog wash washing. It's like Watergate gate. I was laughing at one of your videos I seen the other day. I actually went on because you've got a big YouTube following actually.
Yeah. That kind of blew up a couple of, like, last year, I think. Because I've been on it for, like, years, and then... suddenly-
You and Bruce Fumey, the biggest YouTubers in Scotland, who knew?
You know, someone said on one of my videos, this is hilarious, I love Scottish stuff, you should do a collaboration with Count Dankula.
Oh my god!
And I was like, what do you think I do?
Would they have it?
Yeah.
Would they pretend? Would they joke?
Well, no, I don't think so, because then I looked him up, and now he does these, like, Scottish myths and legends
Oh,
thing.
really? Yeah.
He's obviously
Count
trying to,
Dankula?
yeah, he's trying to pivot away.
Count Dankula.
Try- he's not as
Get a dog
dank
to
anymore.
relay
He's insane.
information about
Count
the
Dankula.
clearances.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you looked at that Nazi dog in context, he's going through every period of history. The Mary Queen of Scots one's a lot less controversial, actually.
Shag that.
It was filmed in Butt Island.
He's on the fair in Butt Island. He's on the merry-go-round.
But I was going to say, like, it was the Leonardo da Vinci reading his hate mail.
I like that series.
But there was a few that sort of struck a chord with me, like the sort of things that people say. And did you use a wee bit of like stuff people maybe say to you sometimes and that?
Yeah, some of it was just like what I've seen other people getting, because it's all the same stuff all the time anyway. But I quite like the idea of some of that's actually just historically accurate, because him and Michelangelo did have a real life kind of beef, and they would get very petty with each other and slag each other off and stuff. So I just
like the Tupac and Biggie of the day.
Yeah. And they actually died the same way as well.
Did they?
Yeah, drive-by.
Drive-by shooting.
I just think for me the thing about history and is the idea that they were basically us like 500 years ago, and people did used to get, like Leonardo da Vinci used to he was really bad at finishing stuff, so his patrons would have to like chase him up and be like, where the fuck is this mural?
You had Patreon there?
I almost did that to us as well.
Where's that fucking episode?
It's part of the London show.
You still not sent me my mug? Sorry, that one guy. I'm still not sending the mug, by the way.
Just sketches of mugs. That's all we've got so far.
But they used to like if we didn't finish something we said we'd do, they would chase us up for it. It's the same thing. It's just he was Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
And obviously our work is pretty similar.
Of course.
Similar cultural significance.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, you never know. In years to come, maybe people will look back on it with the same reverence.
Yeah. But that was a fun one actually. I like doing that one.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
No, hey. Liked and subscribed. Speaking of which, where I think that probably covers it for today. Where can people find you, Eleanor, and do you have anything to plug?
They can find me on all the social medias. If they put my name in, it will probably show up.
Eleanor Morton.
Eleanor Morton. And I'm so rubbish at plugging stuff.
We got a tour or anything coming up?
I've got my Glasgow Comedy Festival show is going to go on sale on Friday.
Nice. So that'll be out by the time this is out.
Tickets
will be on sale.
Yes. The future is now. So please buy tickets for that. Please do.
What's it called?
It's called Haunted House.
Nice. And as you'll be discussing the ghost stuff.
I'll be discussing the ghost stuff.
Will there be any Beatles crawling around?
Maybe if you watch it and you just see them in front of your eyes.
I just imagine the Beatles. So. You can have the Beatles if you want.
Thank you.
You can have that one. The Beatles. Put that one of your sketches.
Can I have the W.H. Smith one actually? Can I have that one?
No. You can have the Beatles, but that's it.
So Glasgow Comedy Festival on sale. Find you in Eleanor Morton. Anything else? Any more shows with Sean and Michael at the moment?
Sorry, I can't remember all the details, but we are doing Dublin and Museum of Comedy in London in early February, and if you do follow me on social media, I will tell you the details there.
Just look it up. Come on, you can
You'll
find
figure
it.
it out.
Basically.
Some great comments. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Eleanor.
Thanks
Thanks,
for having me,
Eleanor.
guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Just as ever, before we go, please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you can follow us at SomeLaughPod on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter, and send any questions you've got to our email address, which is somelaughpod@gmail.com. And as we just mentioned, do remember to sign up to the Patreon, where you are free to remind us to do our fucking paintings. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Cheers, everyone.